Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever part of the day this podcast is reaching you. I want to say hello. I am your host, Asha Zalika, and I welcome you to Authenticity the Hard Way. This recording is absolutely impromptu, so you will hear background noises, and I apologize in advance for whatever may come through. But I have been moved amazingly in my spirit to share this morning. It's been, I don't know, I don't know. It's been a while, and my intentions have been to find a better balance between work and my projects, the things that I'm working on, the things I'm trying to get off ground. And I came to realize that trying to find balance can be enemy, and it can be your best friend. But recently it had become an enemy. So instead of trying to create a balance, I've just been leaning more into my intuitive leading, which has taken a lot of stress off of my mind. So this morning you know what? Transformation is so real. And the reason why I wanted to do this podcast is because I realized transformation at a different level. So in the beginning of my first podcast, and what kind of spurred me into creating this podcast about authenticity and reaching the highest version of ourselves, was the phrase, the word transformation. And in my first or second episode, I can't remember which, I talk about transformation and the problem that I have or had with the word, because in my mind at that point, transformation was, I don't know what the word is I want for it, but it was not something that was long lasting in my mind as far as our evolution into our higher selves. So I think I gave the analogy of the Transformers and how they transform from their original authentic transformer selves into the vehicles, whichever vehicle they chose to be as that transformer. And my problem was that, like, Optimus Prime would transform from Optimus into the truck, and then when trouble hit, then he would transform back into Optimus Prime and fight the battle, and then go back to being the truck. And that bothered me, because when dealing with authenticity, we shouldn't be transforming. You just evolve into that higher self and stay there until it's time to evolve further forward, not backwards. However, within this past year, I have watched myself transform into an entirely new being. And I'm amazed. I have become so aware of myself, within myself and within the world. I have witnessed my own transformation, and this came off of this revelation came off of my morning meditation, and a culmination of things involving my coworkers and my family life, and just me in general, being aware of myself as a spiritual being, witnessing my own human experience or my human condition in this world. So, little background right quick. I have been doing intense shadow work. I recently, I guess it's been a month now, became a student at the University of Metaphysical Science, which in and of itself is a major life changer. So in all of my podcasts, I reference God, I reference spirits, I reference the universe. I was spiritually raised Christian, but it got to the point, and I'm saying this, please do not misunderstand what I'm saying. I do not have any harsh feelings towards religion, Christianity, whatever. Religion is religion. But I, for myself, have come out of religion. Do I still believe the teachings of Jesus? Yes, I do. I love him. He is my Savior, changed my life. What I have a problem is the entity or the corporation of Christianity, of religion. But spirit is spirit. And I have evolved in my understanding of that. And the moment I decided that I wanted to learn more about spirit, I wanted to learn more about, and words are words, and we often go to what countries go to war over words because everyone, one word, everyone has a different connotation of that word. So I say spirit, energy, and it's the same. It just depends on what you call it. But I have, for all of my life, wanted to learn more about spirituality, wanted to learn more about the reasons why I feel the way I feel and the things that I do, and why I do like this over here and I do like this over here. Why is the difference? And I'm learning metaphysics, meaning beyond the physical. That's the best way I can break it down. I am an in-depth study of beyond the physical world. And there's a saying that goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And that is 100% true in my life. I've been on this quest for so long to try and find answers regarding meditation, regarding energy, regarding yoga, regarding everything spiritual or everything unseen, angels and demons and or dark energy and light energy, or just that other world. And it found me. The University of Metaphysical Science found me literally with a tuition that I could pay. And that's another thing, that my life has evolved and transformed to the point where I could do this. But for so long I was fighting, and even with my own business, Revelations, I've fought with having it Christian based, because everyone that knows me knows that I've been a part of the church. I was co-pastor, I was minister, intercessory prayer leader, prophetess, all these things in the Christian church. But I come to realize that if I set my business out Christian under the Christian title, then that would cut off so many people. And Revelations is for everyone, regardless of religion, regardless of belief systems. It is an open space for learning, for healing, for evolution, for transformation, for understanding ourselves, the many versions of ourselves. That's what my mission, my goal, my passion is. So I really almost folded as far as trying to move forward with my purpose, in my calling, because I didn't know what title, what is this that I'm doing? What am I dealing with? And I'm dealing with the metaphysical. Is everything out there and not dogma, not tradition, just plain unadulterated spirit. So I started this university, working on my bachelor's right now, and I am learning about the shadow self and sub-personalities and how these things are created in our youth. And I cannot put into words the transformation that I have gone through in 2 months or a month and a half of this deep study, which of course begins within myself. So in dealing with the shadow work, I have sat and now, mind you, I have been doing shadow work for years since I learned about it in my early 20s. And at each version or each level of myself, I dealt with more in-depth shadow work. But I have come to the point with a true understanding of what it is till I have dove. I've taken a big, deep leap within myself and then have uncovered so much about myself that it has just torn down everything I thought I knew about Asha. And so because that has happened, and because my intention, okay, so someone's mowing the lawn now somewhere out there, so please excuse the background noise. Because I set that intention to learn more about myself, my road has expanded in front of me, and I am learning so much more about myself. And in response to my intention, God, the universe, my angels, my guides, my ancestors have just come into my life. The scripture that says that we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. It's in the New Testament. And that has become so real in my life. Like there is so many entities in my spiritual space now, where I used to feel alone, and in my prayer times I was begging and crying to God, and the only angels that I knew was Michael, Gabriel, and Jesus, just help me not to feel so alone. Just begging for help, begging for support, begging for deliverance, begging, crying, pleading, to now where I have done a complete turnaround, where there's no more sorrow, there's no more begging. When I sit and I have a table that I have before me when I do my communion times, and I have my candles, and I have my crystals, and I have my incense, and I literally am sitting at the table with my celestial family. And I was moved to put up the only pictures that I have of my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncle on my mother's side, the only real family that I have. And I have them up now where before I had nothing. And my life is so full. But I still only have a select few people, which are my children, in my immediate family space, in the natural. And everywhere that I go, the universe, God, is meeting me. For instance, and this is what brought about this podcast, I have been feeling in my spirit, and I have learned about astrology. I've learned the moon phases. I've learned and watched my life and my physical being, my physical body. I'm so aware of myself that I can feel the ebb and flow of my body in time and space, meaning that I can tell when the full moon is coming. I can feel the change. I can feel a push and a rush within my body. And so I've been feeling change coming. I've been sensing an off balance within myself. As a matter of fact, a coworker of mine that worked the other day, how you doing this morning? And I was like, well, I'm feeling kind of off balance. And he leaned up against the door and he goes, what's going on with you? Because for the last couple of days, you've been talking about you're off balance, girl. What's going on? And all I could say was, this thing's changing. Astrologically, I can feel it. And if there's change going on out there and me being a part of that, then there's change happening within me and within my world. So, confirmation of that. I'm going to close this window. Hold on. If that made it any better or not. Confirmation of that was yesterday. I'm driving to work. Oh no, I'm leaving work, going to pick up my son. And I look up, and the truck in front of me, the first, and I study numerology too, so and angel numbers. So the truck in front of me, the first three numbers on the license plate were 000, meaning change, transformation, moving into a new realm, a new level. And as I'm driving, that hit me. I'm like, oh wow, this something major is getting ready to change. Something's getting ready to happen. I'm changing. Something is happening. I might have to sit in the closet to do this. Y'all bear with me with the lawnmower man, please. And so I held on to that. I held on to that within my spirit. And so, I don't know, I might go in the closet because I can't even pick now. Here I am, this big old woman in this little closet. If I have to do this, I'm going to see how it works. Y'all, this is live. I'm not going to change nothing. So, I'm going to keep talking. That's what I'm going to do. I'm in the closet now. You know what? I love myself. I'm telling you. So anyway, 000 on the license plate in front of me. And So this morning when I got up, I did my morning ritual. Okay, lawnmower's gone. I think I'm gonna come out of the closet. Yes, she's coming out of the closet. Um, so I sat and I lit my candles and lit the incense, put on my meditation music, and just sat. I just sat. And that's another thing. Like I said, I'm out of survival mode. Period. I'm out of survival mode, meaning that I'm not coming to God with need. I'm not coming seeking refuge or deliverance. I'm sitting at the table because I just want to commune with Spirit. I just want to be in the space of all that is, enveloped in the power, the love, the compassion that God is, that the universe contains. And I was just sitting, sipping my coffee, and I was just sitting. And I heard, and I channel, I receive messages and every day. And I heard that, this is what I heard: I'm blessing you with the power and the spirit of all that is. And I understand that to mean that all that is already within me. I am already a part of that. So it caught my attention in the sense that if I am already a part of spirit and the power of all that is, then you are blessing me with something new, a newer, fresher, more evolved part of that. And then next I heard, I'm giving you a fresh anointing. And immediately I awakened, I guess you could say, and remembered 000 from the license plate yesterday. And I thought, oh, it's a new beginning. This is transformation. This is change. Going into this new version of myself requires a fresh anointing. And I was sitting with that and realizing, like kind of doing a replay over this past year. And that's when I realized that, girl, you didn't just go through a series of changes. You have literally transformed yourself. So in my awareness, so if you believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, then that spiritual being that I am aware of myself in this human experience. And from this space, I can look back and see where and how I have evolved, how I have transformed. I can see myself in the midst of my work environment and literally am seeing parts of me mirrored in my coworkers. It's mind blowing where I'm standing figuratively in space and time, in this reality where I'm seeing myself, which makes sense because we're all connected. We've all come from the same source. We are all fractals or tiny parts of the whole being. And what I'm experiencing is aligning completely with my studies. I learned that, and I've known this. And the majority, everything that I'm learning in this at this university, are things that I have been self-taught for years. Been teaching myself. Thank you, Google, World Wide Web. Thank you. But so, for example, those things that irritate us, just make us so angry, the behaviors or attitudes of other people, are the reason why they irritate us, is because that those behaviors are also in us. And I'm going to tell you, in my everyday life, I've been around people that certain things have irritated me, but I am at the place now in my awareness that I see it. Literally, I have moments in my day where everything stops. Whatever's going on around me stops. And I zone in on a certain aspect or a certain personality or part of someone else. And I'm aware of how it makes me feel. And I then can trace it back within myself and see, damn, that's me. That's why it bothers me. Transformation. Evolution. All around me. Stunning awareness. And so back to this morning, I just sitting, realizing that I'm on the cusp of something new. I have evolved and transformed into the next highest version of myself. Tears streaming down my face. I'm sitting on my bed staring at a candle, realizing that I am now the next version of myself. And so I always I always seek out confirmation some type of way. And it always comes, either it's a song or something. It always comes. And I also do tarot readings. I was led to get to sit with the tarot, my tarot cards. And sure enough, my cards told the story. And I'm briefly, I have to know about tarot, but I'm just going to read real quick the confirmation that I got. So the beginning card is Two of Pentacles, which means balance. And this is what I started out talking about, is that I found a balance. Whereas this time 6 months ago, 3 months ago, I was struggling trying to find balance. And I couldn't gain a footing in my life because I was so focused on bodybuilding and so focused on getting back on stage. And that eclipsed my whole life. But there are other parts of me that were begging for expression. Like my writing, I'm writing my autobiography. And I felt the pull for that and the pull for doing this podcast and an area that was gray. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't figure out. There was something else that was calling to me, but I couldn't hear it and I couldn't receive it because I was so focused on training. And I let that go. I let it go. And the moment that I did that, I freed myself and opened up my soul that had been kind of on lockdown in certain areas. I opened it up. And now I have a healthy relationship with working out. I try to write at least 20 minutes in my autobiography, and I'm turning out other stories, pieces that I'm uploading to medium.com. And I have found a new talent and creativity in crystal wire jewelry. This is amazing. The creativity that I'm coming up with these pieces of jewelry. Something within me that I did not know exists. I just knew that there was a spark that was trying to spark. You know how you try and light a match and you just can't get it? It just keeps sparking. And that was inside of me, just churning and churning. But the minute I let go of that 37-year goal and dream, then my life is opened up and I have a new balance within my soul and my spirit and this world. That's not necessarily a balance that could be understood by the world's terms, but it's a balance that has fluidity. I'm flowing more throughout my life at this point because of that balance. So that the Two of Pentacles represent the balance that I had to create that does not align with the world form of balance. Because in the world you work, 9 to 5, 8 to 3, whatever. You that's not balance. A balance means that each part of my life, my body, soul, and spirit, maintain a fluidity like the ebb and flow of the ocean. And I have that now. So the second card is the Six of Swords reversed. And Swords deals with the thought life, our minds, our intelligence, our intellectual being. And that represents freedom and a release and taking control of my inner world, being my thoughts, and facing my fears and empowering myself. The Eight of Swords, I'm sorry. The Eight of Swords, that's the Eight of Swords. Then it was the Six of Swords, which meant that I was stuck in the past, which was so true. So true. Living in survival mode. I think my last episode was about being in a new place, but still being stuck in survival mode. But because of this new balance that I have received and the freedom that I've given myself by taking control of my mind, that my thought life, it has allowed me to come out of being stuck in my past. The next card was the Four of Pentacles, reversed, which Pentacles has to deal with our material world, money for me, and the lack of it, and always coming up so short where finances are concerned. But this card showed me that the generosity that I have, giving and spending and openness with my finances, which is so true, because I no longer have that fear of lack. I'm no longer in survival mode, fearful of receiving money because and fearful of receiving it, but wanting to receive it, but fearful of spending it because if I spend it, then I won't have it, and then I don't know when it's going to come again, and I don't. It was just this horrible cycle regarding money that I have evolved and out of, to this point now where freely I give, freely I receive. I have changed, there it is. I have changed my relationship with money. We work in tandem, one with another. I am learning the energy or the spirit of money. And I am working with the spirit instead of against it because of my fear of lack. And then the Hierophant. The Hierophant is tradition, religious tradition. It's societal norms. It's the status quo in society. That card was reversed, meaning that I have come out of conformity to this world. That's scripture, right? We are in this world, but we are not of this world. I have come out of that conformity. I have come out of the religious persecution that I was under, trying to align what I knew was real for myself in my spirit, which did not flow or did not. What I'm seeing is like gears. It was grinding. My personal beliefs and my personal convictions were grinding and with religion. And I was so trying to make the two fit. It's like oil and water. Not mixing. Will never mix. And I have gotten to the place where I am fine with that. I went through so much pain and harsh experiences in the church that left me feeling less than. And I couldn't understand how a loving God could look down upon me the way that it was shown to me in the church. I have healed from those wounds. I understand the cause. I understand the discrepancies. I understand the difference between religion and spirituality. Before I did not. I thought in order to have spirituality, you had to be religious. So that whole tower, thank you. I just saw a tower crumbling. That whole tower of societal norms and religion and all of that has crumbled. And I have come out of conformity to that and found my own freedom outside of the world. I'm here in it, but I am not of it. And then the Three of Wands. The Wands represents our spiritual intuitiveness. That card was also reversed. And it represents the strictness and the restrictedness and the limitations and the lack of progress and all of the obstacles and delays that I had while trying to pursue my calling, but being bound by outdated beliefs and being stuck in the past. All of that has changed. And then the death card, which used to terrify me when I saw it because I didn't understand, because I had limited knowledge. But now I see the death card as a good card. Why? Because it represents transformation and change and the ending of one cycle leading into the beginning of a new cycle. It transitioned, and that's exactly where I am, right? I mean, all of this is just coming together. Two more cards that came were the Four of Swords reverse, which means recovery, awakening, re-entry into the world, so to speak, from a new place, and release from isolation. There was a part of me that felt so isolated and so restricted because of the belief system that I had based on wrong teaching, the wrong teachings of religion, the wrong teachings of my father, my mother, everything, all of that had me in a space of isolation. And I've come out of isolation in my spirit, in my soul, in my mind. All of that has been changed. I have shifted. My paradigm has shifted. My thought processes have shifted. My belief systems have shifted. Everything has transformed into light, into a different realm of light and understanding. Then the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups literally means my wishes have been granted. Through all of this change, all of the inner work that I have done, my wishes have been granted. And my wish has always been to understand myself, to learn more about me, to evolve into the next version of myself. And it has been granted. Then the next card is the King of Cups. That represents emotion, our emotional selves. And King being masculine energy, my male energy. And I have become wiser, more diplomatic. I lean now more into a balance between my heart and my mind. There is a balance. There's that word again. There's a balance. I have achieved that. So there's a balance between my feminine energy, which is the compassionate, the empathetic, the caring. I am now balanced with my male energy, my mental, intellectual side. It's a beautiful, beautiful balance, a beautiful yin and yang, if you will. And then the final card that set this whole thing in motion. When I flipped it over, I almost screamed 4 o'clock in the morning. The Fool card, which number is 0, which represents a new beginning. The Fool, facing forward, ready to take on the next level, the next adventure, the next elevation, the next highest version of myself. So when you put all of that together, 0, 0, 0. I have evolved into this highest version of myself, I have transformed. I have. And it's amazing. I love this woman I have become. I am proud of her. I see her, and I can't tell you how often I will meet someone I will meet someone and they call me Queen. Just the other day I was getting out of the car and this man walked past me and said, "Good afternoon, beautiful black queen." At work, a friend of mine, "Good morning, look at you looking like a goddess." Two, I never could understand why people called me Queen. Because at that stage, I didn't know who I was. I was so lost trying to figure me out in the guidelines of the world, trying to fit in the world. And it took me being broken and literally destroyed. Thank you. The phoenix burning up, burning in the inferno of this world to ashes. But birthed again, rebirth into my own fire. I have alchemized the world's flames and flipped it around and now fly in with those flames. It's mine. I'm on fire and I'm rising. And now I understand why people look at me and call me a queen. And it's no pride or arrogance that says that I speak with. That's just knowing who I am and being so comfortable with who I am and where I am. Oh, what a journey. What an amazing journey. And this podcast is all about the experiences of this journey. And this experience that I'm sharing is ongoing. So before, it was tower moment after tower moment after tower moment. And there was no fluidity in my life. I would get to a certain place and everything would crash. Destruction would hit. I'd get up, not having healed from that, and would just keep moving forward until another crash. It was like gears on a train, grinding, trying to get the train to go forward. And this no wind, no oil on the gears, nothing. Everything is just clinking and clanking and lurching forward and then crashing. And now I know that even that was evolution. Every tower moment was a revolution in that evolution. to where now here I am, and my gears are shifting smoothly. They are well lubricated and everything is flowing. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in the atmosphere around me. And I'm sharing it with you because you can have it too. You may be in that tower moment after tower moment with your gears grinding and you're still trying to go forward. Honey, let those gears grind. Let those towers fall. You keep going forward. I don't care what hell you face. I am telling you that it is only a part of your evolution. I am a witness to the power of destruction if you let it destroy what needs to be destroyed. It could be that your marriage is just crumbling. And that was a word that I got last month. Wow, I forgot. Last month I received the word during my meditation. Let it crumble. And I didn't know what it meant when I received the word, but minute by minute, in the days following that, I saw things crumble. And I just let that stuff fall and walked over it. Just hit the ground and stepped right over it. The hard way. Authenticity, the hard way. The hard way to transformation. Transformation, I'm using that word now. The hard way to transformation and evolution into the next version of yourself is hard. It requires tower moments. It requires devastation. It requires pain. Face it. Let it break you. If you allow yourself to be broken, you will create the new version of you. Better that you allow yourself to be broken. You know, I just had a flash of people, drunk drivers, when they're speeding and they crash into someone. Do you know that it's never the drunk driver that sustains the most injuries? It's the person that gets hit who stiffens up. And then because they stiffen up, they receive the most injuries. But the drunk driver, because they're drunk, because they're fluid, they're wobbly, they're relaxed in their bodies, they don't sustain as much injury. And I said that to say, if you allow yourself to be broken, your healing, your transformation, your evolution will be easier. Allow the hard stuff to come. Allow it. That's authenticity, the hard way. And that's my story that I'm sharing with you. This is what it feels like to be alive. And I hope that at the sound of my voice, you can feel what I feel. Amazing liberation and freedom. It was not given to me. I fought for it. I fought myself for it. I fought my own demons. I fought the world within me. And I refuse to back off. And I'm here with you, telling you that I will fight with you. I will stand with you. I got you. Just keep going forward. Keep the good fight of faith going on. Reach out to me. You can email me at revelations, REVELATIONZHET @gmail.com. Let me know where you are. Let me know what you need. Let me just talk to me. I got you. We're in this together. Each one, teach one, each one, reach one. I don't care how you want to put it out here. Thank you for listening. Stay strong and transform your life into the next highest version of yourself. I'm Asha Zalika. Thank you for listening.